I have a very unpopular opinion about accountability buddies. And you know what? I always have. Whenever there's an accountability group to join for whatever it is, maybe it's health, maybe it's business, a challenge that's free, I never want to be a part of the accountability group. On today's episode, we're going to bust open some myths. We're going to talk about where to find the best accountability buddies if you happen to feel that that's going to help you, and how to set yourself up for self accountability. And then, of course, I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Self Care Oracle deck, and we will end this episode together with a mantra of the week and a journal prompt for the week from the universe, and also a little bit of homework. Welcome to the Creative Life in Motion podcast, wherever you're listening to this. If you're listening on a podcast player, welcome. If you're here on YouTube, thank you. Make sure that you say hello in the comments where you're tuning in from. Here on this show, we don't wait until we reach our goals to be happy. We fall in love with who we are being on the way. And I'm your virtual BFF, Karen, or soon to be. I never really fit in school. I had a difficult time making friends. So I got very adapted to being by myself and making decisions for myself. And when I decided to do something, I would just do it. When I had my accidental weight loss, I talked about a couple episodes ago, didn't need accountability to keep going. I was blessed with feeling better almost right away. I mean, first I was blessed with the fact that I had no choice. I had to bring my son to school and walk him home. It was adulting. I had to do it. And then when I started to feel better, that really made me excited. I'd never felt that before. And then when my body started changing again, that was exciting. And I really didn't need anyone outside of myself to tell me to keep going. Now, I did have copious amounts of people coming up to me and saying, "What are you doing? You've lost so much weight. You look so good." And perhaps those were my unassigned accountability buddies. And I also knew the consequences of quitting. I feared the consequences of quitting. Once I knew what was possible for me, I wanted more. I've helped hundreds of women over the past decade get in touch with their health and fitness goals. And I find that the ones that seem to stay connected with their own accountability and their own why, they work in the healthcare system. So I had to dig a little bit deeper. And, because these are busy women with full-time jobs, and in some cases, multiple children to look after, but they seem to have this self-accountability. Is it because working in the healthcare industry, you see the effects of not taking care of your body in daily lives? Or is it just a coincidence? I had to ask myself that. This show is all about raising conversations. And so what do you think? I also feel like aware right now, and you've probably heard me say it before, that taking care of your health is like stocking your health account. What I do or what I don't do is going to show up 10 years from now. I'm either going to reap the benefits or the consequences. Now, it can't be proven and it can't be measured. I wouldn't know for sure because I won't have the data. I'll only have the one-way data, like we can measure things now and measure things 10 years from now, but I'm not going to have my same physical body be able to do two pathways, right? So I won't know. I believe, though, that we can significantly reduce our chances of getting ill or losing our vibrancy if we do take care of ourselves. I just don't want to take that chance, but so many people don't make a move until they're sitting in the doctor's office and they're kind of forced to make a move. I mean, myself included. For me, it was my gallbladder removal, and I didn't get off my butt until a couple years later when I actually had to do it, like I said, to adult. Looking for some sort of accountability, let's talk about some red flags to watch out for. So, I'd like to dispel a few myths, shall we? Okay, so myth number one is that any accountability partner will do. As long as you tell somebody that will hold you accountable, you're golden. And that's totally false. Assuming that any friend can be effective accountability partner, in reality, you have to find somebody that shares similar fitness goals and commitment levels and communication styles. Choosing the wrong partner can lead to a lack of mutual understanding and support. So, for example, if I tell my husband that I am going to stop buying my cocoa whip cream, I mean, I've been really totally crushing on cocoa whip. It's like coconut whipping cream, and I'm almost borderline addicted. And if I told him that I was going to stop, so say I decide to buy the cocoa whip and bring the cocoa whip home. And my husband is like, oh, well, it's only once in a while because he wants to keep the marriage going. However, if I were to tell the checkout lady that I'm not allowed to buy any more of this and she cuts me off because there's no emotional ties, that's going to be a better accountability buddy for that particular item. Am I right? Okay, so here's another myth that accountability equals constant monitoring. Okay, that's totally false. Believing that constant check ins and monitoring are the only ways to stay accountable. Regular check ins are valuable, but have you ever been in that one Facebook group or accountability group where it's always, always going. Everybody is always chattering and you're getting notifications galore. It's like, no, thank you. I don't want to be part of something that's going to take up more of my time. I already am strapped for time. So I don't need more notifications and obligations buzzing in my ear. Quality over how many times. So if you have like one really great in-depth accountability session with a coach per week, um, that's a great accountability session, especially when you're working through. But I still firmly believe that the goal should be able to have that self-accountability so you no longer need to check in with the coach. If you become dependent on somebody for accountability, that's also a danger zone. And that's a myth that you need your accountability buddy to be successful. Here's another myth. Accountability partners should have the same routine. I call bull on this one. Thinking that your accountability partner has to follow the same fitness routine or program with you is false. I mean, you're different people, different schedules. Your bodies are going to react completely differently. If there's a diversity in preferences and approaches, it can offer a fresh perspective and insight. And it can also lead to a more dynamic and supportive partnership between you and your accountability buddy. So it's important to see the differences and then have that umbrella of, yeah, we're both working on being better versions of ourselves. We both want to keep moving. We both want to keep putting good stuff into our bodies, but we don't need to be attached at the hip doing everything the same. That could really lead to problems when you are relying on somebody to be your accountability buddy. You're also bringing them into your world. You're also bringing their schedule, their mood, their cancellations. Everything that they're going through is yours as well. So choose wisely, and also know that if your accountability buddy is supposed to say go for a run or go for a walk with you and they cancel, that doesn't mean you get to, like, because they can, in some cases become your excuse. Suddenly you have a problem and vice versa, works both ways. So where do you find the best accountability buddy? Well, looking in the mirror, as I say, is the only accountability you need. It's just a habit. Nobody has to remind you to brush your teeth. It's just what you do. There's 3 ways I think that you can set up self-accountability that's going to give you the best of all worlds. First of all, your calendar is your biggest accountability buddy. So you want to schedule all your workouts at the beginning of the week. Put your calendar where you can see it physically and digitally. Schedule it in like an appointment that you're not going to miss, just like every other appointment that you show up for other people. Give yourself the satisfaction of marking a check box next to it when you're done. That's going to give you the feel good of wanting to do it again. You gotta close the loop. And once you know your schedule, second layer of accountability is to prepare yourself. So if your schedule involves getting up early and going for a run, and you want to make sure that you don't wake anybody up, then you better make sure that you have all of your running gear, your shoes ready. Everything is ready before you go. Your bottle of water is filled so you can drink and guzzle your water before you go. You have a system set up so that all you need to do is get out of bed and get yourself prepared and out the door. Do not pass go. Do not look at your phone. Do not engage in a scroll roll. Maybe in order to have the time, you need to make your breakfast and your lunch the night before. So the second layer of accountability is preparedness. What time do you need to go to bed? What time do you need to set your alarm? Reverse engineer everything that you need to have ready so that you are successful. That's a layer of self-accountability. If you don't do any of that, then it's really easy to blame other people for not being able to get your workout in. Oh, the alarm didn't go off. Oh, I didn't want to wake anybody up and get my clothes. Oh, I forgot my shoes at work. All kinds of things are going to become excuses. And that's going to do nothing for your self-accountability. I like to also incorporate something like once a week, maybe you bring a friend along. So this really helps with layering in that accountability buddy that probably is on a different program than you, or maybe is at a different fitness level than you, but maybe you both like going for a walk or attending a yoga class together. This allows you to meet with someone that's like-minded. It allows you to talk fitness, to talk goals, to talk struggles, to share wins and losses with someone that is in the same type of journey as you. It really gives you that social connection and accountability. You don't want to be the one, none of us want to be the one showing up saying, I did nothing this week after week. I mean, it's normal fluctuation to not be able to follow plan 100% of the time. There is something called life, but it's sticking to your plan 80% of the time. That's what a consistent health and lifestyle plan is. It's leaving room for error, accepting the error, still loving yourself through it instead of battering yourself or making yourself double up on workouts or punishing yourself with an extra long workout because, you might have had the cake and the cake. That's another part of being able to be self-accountable. Never label yourself as a person that doesn't have motivation. It's not a thing. Motivation there's nothing different from deciding I want to have a cup of coffee. So you walk to the kitchen and pour yourself a coffee. There's nothing different from that type of motivation than there is of the motivation to lace up your shoes. It's an action. You have motivation. You just need to do it. You just need to act upon it. So don't be saying that you don't have it. The best accountability, I've said this a couple of times, is in the mirror, but it's not going to be there if you don't know why you want it. And you don't know you want it usually until you are there on the other side. Like most people don't know that what feeling better feels like until they feel better. We just know that we want to do something, but we don't have time, so we don't make the time. And then time goes by and it gets harder and harder and harder, and we feel worse and worse and worse because the less we are mobile, it is use it or lose it, you know? But the good news is it doesn't take long to get it back if you've lost it. It doesn't take long to start a habit, and it doesn't take long to start seeing small progress if you start small and build upon it. When you start like with a workout or a plan that is like from 0 to 500 and overnight, it's not going to be something that's sustainable that can stick. So that's why in the Walk It Off program, we start with 20-minute walks, 20 to 30 minutes. The goal is to leave refreshed, energized, and to carve out the habit. That's the first goal to anything, is to carve out the habit, find a reason why, even if you don't know what it is yet, you get moving, and the action and the clarity are going to come hand in hand. So figure out what it is that you like. What's equivalent to your walking? Is it taking a walk? Is it taking a class? What is it that you feel like you'll actually enjoy, that you can actually stick to? The reason why I talk about walking so much is that it's accessible to anybody and everyone. You just need a pair of shoes. All you need is to stay motivated, which we talked about. That's just an action. You already have it, so you've already got one. And you need to build a plan. I've queued a video up for you to watch if you're watching this on YouTube. I'll link it below if you're listening on a podcast player. And you can watch that next, and it's going to help with the plan and the motivation. I'll also link an episode I did a couple of weeks ago on the sudden rise of walking. It's the best kept secret for losing weight mentally and physically. So go watch or listen to that if you haven't already. But first, it's time to pull a card together, okay? So I got the Sacred Self-Care deck. I realized that it's kind of noisy when I shuffle the cards and everything, so. What do you think? Now's a good time to drop in the comments below how you feel about putting yourself in charge of accountability. I'm calling on a card that's it doesn't matter when you're watching this or listening to it, whatever comes out of this deck is meant for you. That's the way this works. And we're getting this right, spreading them out. Just going to heat up my hands so we can get some energy going. You can probably hear that. Let's see which one is coming to right here. Dance. I'll show you dance. All right. This is fun. This is really good. You know what? Dance is a movement. And can you tell me, like, when was the last time you danced? Like, dance like no one's watching? I'm going to look up here what our mantra for the week is. Let me see here. Here's our mantra. You can type this into the comments below too if you're watching on YouTube. I feel empowered to express myself through movement, embracing my unique dance style. How about some self accountability there, right? Like that just really drives it home. Dancing can be an incredibly liberating experience, allowing for a unique form of self expression and a more profound sense of embodiment. It allows us to return to the body in the here and now, to clear energetic blocks, to push our physical limitations, and to stretch into new realms of movement and creativity. So, whether you want to put on your dancing shoes or go barefoot, it's time to move and shake what your mama gave you. Nice. Take a dance class, watch a video tutorial about a specific dance style, or just enjoy dancing at home for your own pleasure. As you gain more confidence in your ability to move and express yourself, you might try ecstatic dance. If you have a physical limitation that prevents you from dancing, try a closed eye meditation in which you visualize yourself dancing. While doing so, notice how your energy is moving and release any limiting beliefs and old stories that no longer serve you. Here's our journal prompt. Do you feel comfortable dancing? If yes, what style of dance makes you feel most radiant and best expresses you? If no, why do you feel uncomfortable and how do you think you could work through this discomfort? A dance class is a really great place to find accountability because you're doing something that you like. In dance classes, you're usually showing up and learning specific choreography. You're growing with your dance class like a team. You get to know other people that are enjoying the same thing, which makes it easier to have self accountability because you already enjoy what you're doing. You don't need to be convinced. And then you meet your like minded people there, turn into accountability buddies. They become your team. You don't want to let them down. So that's a great place to have that weekly accountability. That's great. And, as far as dancing, I taught dance for a little while and I felt comfortable teaching it because I had a specific choreography to teach. But when I'm like in public and there's a dance floor and I'm expected to dance, I feel so uncomfortable. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move my body. My body feels rigid. And I feel like I'm dancing like I did in the 80s, that two-step move. That's the only move I got. So, what I do to allow myself to move through that and keep going is I just keep going. You can look at other people on the dance floor and you can start to move the way they do. And dancing is dancing. There's no rules on the dance floor. So let's just all keep that in mind, shall we? Okay, well, that's about it for this episode. I hope that it's helped you feel more empowered for self accountability. I enjoy having these conversations with you. Make sure that if you haven't already, you're subscribed to the channel or the podcast player to make sure that you get the next episode next time I upload it. It also helps the show and allows me to be found with we find our people, our like-minded people that really like to hang out for these types of conversations. So until next time, keeping it real, your BFF. Peace out. That was kind of weird. What do you think?